If you are shopping for knives, swords, flashlights, or other outdoor gear or EDC gear, don't forget to check out the descriptions of my videos down there. There are discount codes for custom titanium knife scales, flashlights from Neil's Gadgets. There's lots of information on how to find all the products that I use in my videos. Using linked information is your choice, but if you do, it might help you save quite a bit of money, and it really does help me bring you lots of cool content like this. I recently did a very popular short on this topic, and I wanted to do a long form video about it because a lot more people cared about it than I thought would. I didn't think anybody would care about this topic, but apparently a lot of people do. And that is, what have I done in places that have really tough knife laws? So in a lot of places that I've traveled overseas, or even some places in the United States, there are knife laws that are a lot tougher than where I live. I am very grateful to live in a place where I can literally carry a switchblade in my sock and a shotgun in my pocket, and nobody can say anything about it. Constitutional carry state, and I'm very grateful for that fact. However, not everywhere is like that. Now, I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. I'm just sharing kind of my experience and what I have done in certain places regarding knives. So one thing that I have done when traveling overseas or places that are unfriendly toward knives is carry a pair of electrician's shears. Now, these are high carbon steel scissors. They're very useful in their own right, but I've actually modified mine a little bit. So what I have done, you can see on this blade of the shear, I have taken this down to an apple seed edge. So I've sharpened, instead of your standard kind of scissor grind where you have a flat plane and then you have a bevel here, I've taken this down to almost like a Scandi grind, but rounded. So this blade of my shears is now as sharp as a knife, and it can be used as a knife when you're holding the shears like this. And this generally, in my experience, now yours might be different. Please leave a comment down below if you are living in a place that's different, or if you, are in a place with laws where this wouldn't work. But most people don't care if you're carrying a pair of scissors. I even make Kydex sheaths to go over them like this. So this can now be carried in a pocket. This lanyard goes on your belt loop, so even if you drop it out of your pocket, it's not going to get lost. You can grab the shears from your pocket, pull them right out of the sheath, use them, and then you can stick them back in the sheath like so, pop it back in against your leg with one hand and put it back in your pocket. So it's a very useful alternative to a knife. Now, do I think knives should be illegal? Obviously, no. I don't think a knife by itself is a weapon. People talk about self-defense with knives all the time. I'm not a big self-defense channel. I also think that if you're trying to use your pocket knife for self-defense, it's just not a very good tool for that, right? If you are trying to defend yourself with a pocket knife, so much has already gone wrong that you're in a very bad situation. The best advice for self-defense is to look ahead and not get yourself into a situation where you're going to need to defend yourself. Don't go walking down dark alleys at 2 in the morning, right? That's the best advice for self-defense. Other than that, there are plenty of other things that we don't deal with necessarily on this channel. I obviously live in a constitutional carry state. So, in a lot of places you can carry firearms. If you're going to do that, you should know how to use one and know how to not use one. I don't advocate violence in any way, but I do believe in a person's right to defend themselves. This is not a self-defense item necessarily. We're talking strictly about a utility item. I was in Ireland recently traveling, and I used these scissors while I was on a photo shoot, and the wedding photographer I was on with the shoot was really impressed with this, and she's like, wow, how do I get some of those for my husband? To that end, I am actually selling these on Etsy. I'm going to put up a listing for Etsy on these. Should be a link down in the description. So if you would like something like this, if you're interested in a non-knife scissors usable item, check out my Etsy. They will be for sale there. Let's talk about the effectiveness of these as an EDC item. So even tough things like paracord, these will just kind of go right through. They're very good at cutting tough items. That sharpened blade is even pretty good at carving. Let me carve into this bamboo dowel a little bit here so you can see. I'll get it up pretty close. You can see I can carve right through wood very easily with these things. They sharpen up just like a knife. Again, it's high carbon steel, so it's the same stuff that a lot of knives are made out of. So they're very effective. They're also great for cutting soft things, like cutting into foam or other things. Sometimes it's hard to do that job with a knife. So having a shear obviously is going to be an advantage in some circumstances. The ones that I'll be selling on Etsy will look more like this. This was kind of an older set that I made a while back. I just happen to like that brand, but this brand doesn't exist anymore. So this would be more the type that you're going to see on Etsy. I buy these, again, I buy these from Amazon. I make the sheaths. I sharpen and mod the blades for you. So that's what you get out of that. Over to you guys. Do you like alternative items like this? Are you interested in seeing more stuff like this on my channel? This was kind of a problem-solving thing. I didn't really think this would be very interesting. I just did a quick short about it while I was traveling, and it ended up with almost 200,000 views at this point. So give me some feedback here. If you're interested in these, if you're interested in ordering some, let me know what you think. And as always, have a nice day.